Hey guys, we did something a little bit different this year in terms of planting tomatoes. Instead of having the rows side by side, we actually skipped the row and planted snap beans between them to give us more space to work around the plants. And these things are absolutely going crazy, producing a ton right now. So we thought we'd show you what's out here and talk to you for a few minutes about how to get this type of production.
They really are producing like crazy. I think we just picked about a 10-foot row, maybe 20 feet, and we got a bushel already.
It's a lot of...
Yeah, it's a lot of beans. Okay, so everybody wants to know, how do you do this?
How do you do this? All right. One thing, you need kind of warm soil when you're putting your snap beans out. They're not like the English peas where you can plant them in 50 degree, 55 degree soils and they'll do good. They need a little bit warmer soil. So what I do is when I plant my tomatoes, somewhere right after that, that's when I start putting the snap beans in the ground within a week or so.
Okay, and how much fertilizer did you use?
I don't use a lot. Beans, legumes as they're called, they generally fix nitrogen in the soil, so you don't need a whole lot of nitrogen. If you do, you end up with a bean plant that's about waist high. I think I showed that in a video a couple years ago about black-eyed peas. I'd fertilize with 5-10-10. If you're using a conventional fertilizer, cut back on the nitrogen like that. If you're using some organic stuff or whatever, same thing. Whatever your nitrogen source is, cut back on it. Otherwise, you end up with a whole bunch of a bush and not a lot of fruit on there.
Okay, insect control. I know that initially the bean beetles just try to eat it, slam up. You don't have a whole lot of that here.
I use like Liquid 7 or the Orthomax or something like that. When their plants are about this big and they're first coming up, the cucumber beetles and little striped beetles, all the beetles in the world tend to come out because the leaves are so tender and they're just, it's like a buffet. Everybody wants to eat them. Once the plants get up bigger size and they got some mature leaves on there, the pressure is nowhere near as bad. So I generally will have to do some spraying the first couple of weeks, and after that, it's not a big problem. This year, I have not sprayed these things one single time. Yeah, they got some bug holes in the leaves, but the bugs can eat the leaves and we'll eat the beans off of them. So everybody's happy.
Okay, weed control.
Weed control, you just keep the weeds out of them. People, I've seen people, and my neighbor, oh my God, he is the worst for this. He wants to do his weeding when he's picking. You go out there and pick the beans, the butter beans the same way. You go out there and pick your butter beans, and he's pulling grass out of them. He works his way down the road on his little rolling seat thing, and he's just pulling weeds. And like, please, keep the weeds out. Let the plant have those nutrients that are in the soil. You get better production. And when you come out to pick, especially when they're loaded like this, you don't want to be fighting a whole bunch of grass and weeds and stuff there and putting back. Plus, you end up with other critters and things in there you can't see when it's
the weeds
overgrown.
give them a place to live.
So we try to keep the gardens clean. We generally come back on the weekends and go back through this stuff and clean it right back up after a week. And we've done pretty good this year for part-time gardeners.
Yeah, and what variety is this? They are the most productive beans I've ever seen.
These are strike, S-T-R-I-K-E, as in baseball strike, or NBA strike, or a strike in bowling.
Okay.
A fella across the road told me about these a few years ago. He said they were the best he'd ever grown. I'd always grown Tenderette or whatever the local feed store had. I planted these one time, and I haven't planted anything else. They are extremely productive. You made the comment about people, we watch videos of other people with your small gardeners and stuff, and sometimes they'll have like 5 or 6 bean plants, and we're thinking, you know, you're not going to get enough to eat off of 5 or 6 plants.
Certainly not enough to can off 6 plants. As soon as I came out here and started picking, I said I need to apologize because I believe 6 of these plants would be enough.
There's a whole lot of beans on these plants right now, I tell you. So we're over there picking just a ton of these things. I mean, they're absolutely full. We get back up to the house there, I'm gonna get on the phone. I got some people's numbers stored and call them and tell them, hey, look, would y'all please come save me before she kills me? Come over here and pick some of these snap beans and get them all, because this is going to be, nobody in their right mind needs to be trying to can 7, 8 bushels of snaps. They're just
not when they're going to keep coming too.
No, so we'll get that done. I'll get some help down here shortly.
Okay.
They are.
And another thing is, everybody's going to want to know where you bought the seeds.
Where to buy the seed? Actually, I think this seed right here, if they didn't come from Morgan County Seeds, because when I order bean seed, I order like 5 pounds at a time. If they didn't come from Morgan County, then they came from the local feed store, one or the other. STRIKE. Everybody has a favorite snap bean out there. Some of them got the Kentucky Wonder. Don't they make a snap bean?
Mm-hmm.
I remember Misty talking about Jade.
I always grew Blue Lakes, but these beat the Blue Lakes because they're more productive, and the taste is real good too.
There's no string to these things whatsoever,
Yeah,
none at all. You can even eat the point that's on the end. I found that out. It always would snap the stem in, and then snap the little point off the end. And she's already cooked up a batch of them with the point on there. And she asked me, "How did you like the point?" I said, "What point?" All I know, it was some good eating.
Yeah, it was.
So to recap, get some warm soil to put your bean seed in. Early on, watch the bug pressure because they're gonna be coming. Those tender leaves are just like perfect for the bugs. Please keep the weeds out. Cut back on the nitrogen. Make sure to get watered. Fortunately, we've had just enough rain to do everything just right. Mother Nature's been good to us this year. Good Lord looking out for us, knowing I ain't got time to be watering this stuff, and just give the plants time to do their thing, and then find you somebody who's into sharing and caring, get you some 5-gallon buckets, and you go share the row. And y'all know the routine. This was a deal. We plant it, I try to get it grown, then we pick it, and she does the canning. So as soon as she gets the canning done, there'll be a link down below somewhere. If you want to know how to can green beans, and so we'll get some canning videos up there by her, not me. I only come into the kitchen to eat, that's it. So as we always say,
I hope it helps.
Y'all take care. Lord willing.
We'll see you next time.
Good job, beautiful. If you found this video to be helpful, informative, entertaining, or just downright funny, don't forget to subscribe.